All right, folks. This is something I don't really do very often, these selfie videos and all of that, but taking a cue from Jay Williams today, who had a really outstanding post, kind of giving his explanation about why he thinks the Brooklyn Nets are kind of exploiting the situation to kind of make an example out of Kyrie Irving by giving him this list of things to do before he could be reinstated to the team. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. It's a really good post. I just got home, and whilst I was driving, I noticed an alert on my phone. You should be keeping your eyes on the road, folks. Don't do that. But, I saw the text alert come in where it says that Jacque Vaughan has been hired as the new head coach of the Brooklyn Nets for the rest of the season. Now, the first thing that came to mind, I have no idea why, was when the Nets as a team became, the new Nets, not New Jersey, but Brooklyn Nets. And when, Prokhorov, the old Russian owner, wanted to kind of form this identity of this team, he was really looking for a championship now attitude and culture that, he was going to do everything possible and no nonsense. And, he was kind of desperate to win a championship. To this date, whenever he bought the team and brought it over to Brooklyn with Jay-Z to now, 2022, the Nets are still a desperate team. And what makes me say desperate rather than unstructured and all that sort of thing is, they're just bending to every single thing that's happening. The Nets made it very clear after Steve Nash was fired last week that, they were really interested in bringing Ime Udoka in. Of course, he's been suspended by the Celtics for, his conduct detrimental to the team. So he hasn't been coaching this year. But, they made it very clear they were really interested in bringing him in, to be their new head coach. And, they were going towards that. But Adam Silver made a remark, the league office made a remark that, maybe they need to be saved from themselves because, bringing Udoka in, he hasn't served his full suspension and all that sort of thing. It probably wouldn't be really good for them, compounding the issue with Kyrie. Nets, come on, guys. When as an organization, I know you don't know who I am or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. But when are you guys going to grow some balls? Literally. Every single thing, from Kyrie Irving coming in, you guys have capitulated to him and Kevin Durant. You kind of done all sorts of stuff. You changed the roster around. You said that Kyrie Irving wasn't going to play when he was unvaccinated, and then you changed your stances, and then you brought him back in. You fired, coaches. Who was the first guy? I can't even remember his name now. The assistant coach on the Golden State Warriors. And you brought in Steve Nash, a player coach who, Kyrie Irving said that, we didn't even really need because, we don't need a coach. You've done all this flip-flopping about, certain issues, and now you've done it again. Your hearts were set to bring in a guy who brought, in his first year, brought the Boston Celtics to the finals, to your squad to kind of, right the ship. Probably the right person to right that ship basketball-wise. And once again, you're bent to the will of everything else. When are you guys going to just stick with something that you say you're going to do? This culture that you guys have been trying to build from since, the New Jersey days, and the Brooklyn Nights coming from the ceiling, and from the Prokhorov days to now, it's embarrassing, man. Nets, come on. Figure this out, because if you're just wasting the time of Kevin Durant, who's kind of putting up MVP type numbers and might have a really MVP caliber season, and you're not giving him the tools to work with. Come on, man. Just stick with a decision for once, because the culture is not there, and it's not going to help you bring more guys in after this season if you guys can't get your act together.